Hello everyone, welcome to Saptapadi Vivaha Presents Gupshup with you. I am Dr. Snehal Sukthankar. Type 1 diabetes is a challenging illness. It needs lifelong diabetic self-care. When it comes to marriage, there is a significant stigma associated with it. The concerns are like premarital disclosure, marital relationship, ability to procreate, risk during pregnancy in women, risk in children, and many more. And to solve all this confusion, we have an expert today on our platform, Dr. Neeta Deshpande ma'am. She is a diabetologist and bariatric physician in Belgaum Diabetic Center, professor and HOD of medicine in MM College, Belgavi, associate professor of medicine in USM KLE International Programs. She is a past chairperson of Karnataka RSSDI. She has given many presentations on diabetes and obesity on national and international platforms. These are just a glimpse of her achievements. So let's meet the most dynamic and very beautiful Dr. Neeta ma'am. Hello ma'am.
Hello. Thank you so much Snehal for that nice and kind introduction. Thank you.
Welcome to Saptapadi Vivaha. Let's start with a session.
Sure.
What is type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes is basically an autoimmune disorder. As we all know, insulin is needed by everyone to process the blood sugar in their body, and insulin is produced by the pancreas. Unfortunately, in type 1 diabetes, what happens is there is an autoimmune antibody attack on the cells in the pancreas that produce insulin, and it is destroyed forever. It usually attacks children. So these children need to take insulin injections lifelong just to live. So it's a lifelong disorder which is autoimmune. So that is type 1 diabetes, which is actually quite different from the usual diabetes that you see in the general public, which is type 2 diabetes, which comes because of a bad lifestyle. So type 1 diabetes is basically an autoimmune disease which destroys the insulin producing cells of the pancreas.
Okay. What are the symptoms to detect this type 1 diabetes?
Symptoms are very dramatic actually. A child or an adolescent can come with extreme hunger but weight loss. Several kilos may be lost before it is actually diagnosed, and they are very thirsty all the time, and they could have tingling and numbness of their legs, hands, etc., or a non-healing ulcer, or they could have itching fungal infections in their private parts. So these are some of the symptoms of type 1 diabetes, or any diabetes for that matter.
Who is more susceptible for type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes, very interestingly, is a combination of a genetic susceptibility but an environmental insult in the form of a viral infection has to be added to that genetic susceptibility, and the combination produces that antigen antibody reaction. So genetic susceptibility is in the form of the child or the adolescent possessing certain sets of genes which we call HLA genes, and added to that there is a environmental insult. Some poisons or some chemicals have also been implicated, but usually it's a viral infection which may go unnoticed, and then this triggers this antigen antibody autoimmune reaction which may come up much later and cause type 1 diabetes.
Does it affect married life?
Well, not directly, but on a mental level, a social level, and sometimes if the diabetes is not well controlled, then at a physical level. So type 1 diabetes can be a major deterrent to a normal married life because of all these reasons at different levels.
If the father or mother is type 1 diabetic, so what precaution they should take during pregnancy or in general for their baby?
If the father has type 1 diabetes, then it really doesn't matter that much, except that the child may inherit those genes, which doesn't mean that the child will get type 1 diabetes unless there is that environmental factor which is there.
Virus
Yes, that
infection,
the viral
infection,
infection
yes.
kind of thing. But if a mother has type 1 diabetes and gets pregnant, then the blood sugars have to be controlled very tightly so that there are no congenital defects in the baby.
Okay.
Of course, the passage of type 1 diabetes from the mother to the child is again the passage of those genes. It's not directly that that child gets type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
But for the pregnancy to be normal, for the child to be normal, the blood sugars have to be maintained very, very strictly.
Okay.
Far more strictly than in the non-pregnant state, so that there is no congenital defect and the birth of the child also is very, very easy.
Okay. Type 1 diabetes is like a kind of stigma in the society.
Yes.
Generally, patients are little stressed
Yes.
for that. So,
Yeah.
in that case, how the stress management should be carried out?
Well, first and foremost, what I would say is that it is a stigma, like you mentioned very rightly. There are many parents who do not want to disclose that their child has type 1 diabetes. They do not disclose it in school, they do not disclose it to friends, teachers, nobody, but they can land up in trouble.
Okay.
Because type 1 diabetes, or any diabetes patient for that matter, can have hypoglycemic attacks, that is very low sugar reactions. It can happen in school, it can happen on the playground. So if the immediate friend circle or the teachers or the school is not aware that this child has type 1 diabetes, they don't know what's happening.
Okay.
And they may not be able to take the emergency measures. So that is the thing. So to avoid those kind of stresses for the child and for the parents, it's best to disclose.
Okay.
It should not be seen as a stigma. It is not a condition that is passed on by, it's not a contagious disease that everyone has to be scared of
Right.
or they have to be ashamed of. In fact, we have so many people with type 1 diabetes who are doing brilliantly in their life. You know of sports people, you know of actors, you know of choreographers who are doing so well even with diabetes. So it's not a stigma, and that is something that has to be told to the parents and to the child, and this immediately brings down the stress levels.
Okay.
Because once there is nothing to hide, there is no stress.
Right.
So that is the first thing, that you disclose that there is type 1 diabetes. Do not be ashamed of it. For this, many a times we need to take the help of a psychologist to help the child and the parents go through that process of disclosing, of not hiding
Okay.
that they have type 1 diabetes, so the stress levels come down. Secondly, the more knowledge that they have about type 1 diabetes, the more knowledge that they have about how to treat hypoglycemia, how to control their blood sugars, they become less stressed out, because they get into control of their disease. So once they are able to control their disease with more knowledge, with more diabetes education, the stress levels again come down.
Yeah, they are prepared.
They are prepared.
Mentally prepared.
They are mentally prepared for everything, and that's how you find that the stress levels can come down. And we normally in our OPD, we try to take them through this. We spend a lot of time with type 1 diabetes patients, especially at initial diagnosis, where they go through several phases, especially if the child is a little older. They go through phases of denial first,
Right.
then anger,
Right.
and then depression and sadness, and then rebellion sometimes, that I don't want to do this.
Oh.
I had a girl come in recently. Initially she was fine, but now she was just absolutely not responding to anyone or anything. I asked her, why are you doing this? She said, I'm fed up of it all. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to check. I don't want to prick my finger. I don't want to take insulin.
Oh.
So because of all these reasons, we have to take them through these different phases and even counseling the patients to not get angry with them or get disturbed. So there's several facets to this, and each phase has to be handled differently. And as I said, we need to take the help of a psychologist many times to do this.
Right. It's really nice. And last but very important question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Your valuable suggestion to potential brides and grooms, those who are type 1 diabetic.
Yes. The first thing that I would see, and I've seen this in my practice, that if there is a type 1 diabetes bride or groom, as it's an arranged marriage, do not hide the fact that you have this diabetes. You must explain and tell directly, because there is no way you can hide this disease later on. And the spouse is going to feel cheated that this was not told.
Right.
So it's very, very important, first and foremost, to disclose. We have patients coming in with a prospective bride or groom wanting to come to us to ask us the severity, the seriousness, and the consequences of the disease. And we welcome that. If the opposite party, if the bride or groom's party wants to come to us and ask us about the disease, we are more than willing, because we will be able to give them the authentic knowledge,
Right.
that this is not a life-threatening disease. This disease can be managed. The bride can conceive, can go through pregnancy, can have children, can have a normal lifespan. There is nothing to be worried about. So rather than going to people who don't have the knowledge about it, it is better that they come to healthcare professionals and get these doubts clarified.
Right.
So my suggestion to prospective brides would be that before marriage, take counseling from the doctor and healthcare professional and the psychologist. After marriage, prior to conception, again they should visit the healthcare professional, do the necessary tests, and go into pregnancy with a normal metabolic profile so that they have a normal child. And the same advice I would give to the groom. If he is type 1 diabetes, there's not much of a problem with respect to childbearing, but adjustment with the spouse might be required, and they should be doing that. And the families should actually come together and meet a healthcare professional together to have the proper perspective on this disease, which is not life-threatening, which a person with type 1 diabetes can lead a full, fruitful, productive, happy life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
There is one other suggestion or advice that I always give to my type 1 girls. So when they're still in school or in college, I always insist that they equip themselves with the right education and skill sets so that they can earn their own money. Diabetes can be an expensive disease. They need to be on insulin lifelong, at least as of now. The science tells us that there is no other alternative but to take insulin. So that it can be expensive, and if someone wants an insulin pump for a better life, that is even more expensive. So if they need to do that, they need to be independent financially. In my mind, all girls need to be independent financially, of course, more so if you have type 1 diabetes, so that you do not have to depend on anyone, at least for your medication. So they need to have the skill sets, the financial independence to do so. So that is my first advice to the parents of girls with diabetes. And once they are a little older, I try to cajole the girls themselves and persuade them to educate themselves so well that they earn very well for themselves, so that they are not dependent, at least for their medication. Marriage will come. Right. Marriage will come and they will get married, they will have children, but financial independence is something that they ought to have, and that is what I insist upon for these girls with diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for guiding us through this wonderful session. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much from the entire team of Saptapadi.
Thank you. I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.